Hey, this is Brent, and I'm going to be showing you, I hope, how to cut a large piece into two pieces that slot together for easier 3D printing. So I'm in Blender now. Really quick, I can show you. Basically, I've just made this part in freeCAD. So I've recently printed the OpenRC F1 little RC car by Daniel Norée, who made a little 3D benchy and a bunch of other just sick models. But this was absolutely my favorite part of it, is that he created a bottom plate that slots together and is just a really strong, just no adhesive, just printed bond, just because of the geometry. So basically he has, I'm going to use this piece to cut a larger piece into two. So this line right here with that little wedge is going to be the dividing line. So when you slot them together, this wedge will actually hold things in place. I haven't done this before, so we'll see how it works. freeCAD is not stable enough, in my opinion, to actually do the Boolean features in freeCAD. I like Blender a whole lot. So I'm going to just import a very large piece. This one. Okay, so this is the bottom of a printed laptop piece. Pretty cool looking. Look at it from above, hit 5, and we'll be, we won't have any weird perspective issues. But yeah, so this is a big piece. This is just 5 millimeters shorter than the TAS bed in length along the, it's X direction in this, but you usually print it in the Y direction on the TAS, which is possible, but extremely difficult, especially if you're using materials that tend to warp, like PCABS. So what I'm going to do is add that in, deselect it, hitting A, and then File, I want to import the part cutter and halfer, which is this one. So look from above, GX, and I just kind of want to position this so that it cuts it into two sort of reasonable pieces, and I think that actually looks pretty good. So now I'm scrolling down, and I'm going to hit Z so I can see sort of X-ray vision. So basically, I'm going to go GZ and get that to exactly cut the thing in half. It's 2 millimeters. This is 2 millimeters. We're all happy. GZ. SZ, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger just so that we know that it cuts it in half well. And okay, so now we've got it, so it's going to have that nice V groove in the bottom plate of the part, so that's going to give it some strength when you pop this apart. And now I just basically have to make this a shape so that we can Boolean between the two. So looking at it from above, that all looks good, but obviously we can't just cut the middle out. We have to cut half of it away and then cut the other half away. So for right now, I'm going to tap Tab. Notice we're in object mode right now, so we can just move and scale, but we can't actually dynamically edit the STL. So I'm going to hit Tab, and now we're in edit mode, which means that we can actually do whatever we want to this STL. So I'm tabbing A to deselect everything, and then C to get a little circle to grab. So I'm just going to grab everything on the back side of this, because again, all we really care about is that front face. But we need it to cut away the rest of the model. So GX, and now you can see that this is when we Boolean, like, to cut it away, we can either get everything that's not covered by this one, or everything that is covered by it, and that'll give us the two halves that slot together. Cool, so that's gone well. Gonna deselect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to grab all the top of this because if you'll notice, it's just below that upper surface and I want it to actually cut everything away. So G for grab and then Z to constrain it in the Z direction. So we just go up and down. Bring it all the way up so it's nice and covering everything. A to deselect. A selects everything. A is all. So select everything, deselect everything. Yeah, pretty cool. Now I tap Z, and that gets me back to the mode where I can actually see what's happening in, not X-ray vision. So let's see if things aren't broken. So I'm tapping Tab to get back into edit mode. And now I'm going to take this bottom piece, select it, and then over here on the action bar thing, I'm going to go to modifiers, add modifier, Boolean. I'm going to Boolean it with the part cutter and halfer. And difference is the first one that I want to select. So difference will be everything that's not intersected. So it'll be essentially the left half. So apply. Now if we hide our part cutter and halfer, hopefully, oh yes, that looks good. Fuck yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm really excited about this technique and I'm happy that it appears at least to be working out. Okay, so now we can say File, Export, STL, and then I'm just going to call it the left. Oh wait, shit. Edit, export, STL. Selection only. That part is important. Otherwise it selects everything, or it exports everything that's in there, even the things that are hidden. So that's not cool. So I'm just going to re-export and write over, and that works. So now I'm going to do Control Z, so we have that thing unhidden, and then Control Z again, so we disapply the Boolean, I think. Anyways, and now we change it from difference to intersect, which is essentially the opposite. So that means that instead of saying we want everything that's not intersecting, we want everything that is intersecting. So now I'm going to say apply. I'm going to hide the part cutter and halfer. And now we have this, which is a nice little wedge shape that'll fit perfectly into that other side. So that's cool. One worry that I have is that since these are straight cut and parts tend to be wider than they're designed to be by a tiny amount, that these might sort of bind trying to slide together. It'll be worse for some materials than others, but I will make another video showing how to deal with that in the near future, hopefully. So I'm going to say File, Export, STL, and then I'm going to call it Write, or GH, Write. Okay. So that is my first attempt at figuring out how to make this thing printable in 2 pieces. And if this works, then that's tight because it's something that has been a big problem for a lot of people for a long time. So yeah, we'll see if that works. Thanks. Kazam, control thing.